Hey everyone, it's your coach extraordinaire Jeremy Noel Johnson here with a video. And in this video I'm answering a question from someone who says, I'm losing my mind, I need help. So that's an interesting question. It's more of a statement than a question. Someone is reaching out, saying they need help. Not saying, will you help me please? They're just saying, I'm losing my mind, I need help. So I want to read what this person had to say and then give a little bit of insight into the situation they're facing. So this person says, what are you supposed to do when you're literally done with everything, and you feel like crying all the time, and you can't stand looking at yourself in the mirror, when you feel worthless all the time. And he says, I'm done. I'm trying my hardest not to cry all the time, but I just hate myself. I really do. All I want to do is sleep, because that's the only time I'm not sad and insecure. I don't feel like seeing anyone or doing anything, and I'm losing my mind. I'm wasting minutes of my life. Well, you're wasting more than minutes of your life. I'm wasting minutes of my life being sad, and I could be happy, but I just can't help it. I sound pathetic and weak, but I'm realizing that I truly am. I just am just done. And he ends by saying, I already know I'm selfish. I know lots of people have bigger problems than me. I have already feel selfish. So, alright, so that's an interesting way to use words. So the first thing I'd say to this guy is, words are very powerful. The words that you're speaking in that statement, we as humans invented language for a reason. It's so that we could communicate and share emotions and things we feel inside using something spoken with our mouths here to each other. And words give us the power to do that. They gave us the ability to describe and reference things, our emotions. Simply look at words as references to things we feel or see and the way we understand them. So words are powerful because those words become what you think about when you say them and when you read them. And I want to share a little story about myself. So many years ago, I've always loved to play the game of basketball. Love the game very much. But there's many years ago when I would play the game, and if I'd go shoot shots, and if I missed a shot, I would get really mad. I would swear at myself and say, you idiot, I can't believe you missed that shot. I'd shoot again, and if I missed, I'd continue to degrade myself and just say, you suck, man. And it was awful. It was a self-perpetuating thing, and by the end of the game I'd be 1 for 14 or something like that. And it was just not helpful, and I would do that in other situations. And when I was, as a young man, that kind of dialogue to myself came naturally. And one of my friends, I think I was in my late 20s, shared with me a book called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. And I read that book, and it gave me a new idea about how the words I speak actually affect me. And so for this person who is losing their mind, I would first recommend that book to them, because it provides you with an understanding of how your dialogue affects you, and it gives examples of good things to say. And so if you feel like you're losing your mind, it's probably because you really are. And I know that most people aren't just saying stuff to say it. In the case of this person, they probably have some anxiety, some depression, and things like that. I know what having anxiety is like. In early 2014, March through May of 2014, I had immense anxiety. I didn't feel like I had any control over it. It was like I had this pressure cooker in my heart and gut. I just felt like I was going to die constantly, and it was not the most fun feeling I've ever had. But eventually that ended, thankfully. And if this guy feels like, it looks like he's depressed a little bit, or he might be having suicidal thoughts, I've had those as well. And let me tell you, it's no fun to feel that way, to feel like your life is worthless and that it's meaningless. And I want to quote or paraphrase part of the song Cinderella Man from Eminem. And one of the things he says toward the beginning of that song is, I'm not even supposed to be here right now, but since I am, I might as well make the best of it anyway. And so I feel like that about life. I kind of came to the decision that, hey, I'm here. I have my own set of talents and gifts and abilities. Might as well give it the best shot I have. It's why I'm doing a video right now. It's why I write on my website. It's why I do a lot of things. And I would encourage you, this person who is hating themselves and losing their mind, to consider that, hey, you're alive. Why not just give life a good shot, your best shot, and make the most of it and see what happens. Each moment you spend degrading yourself or wallowing in your own self-pity, that's time you could be spending reading or getting to know people or learning a new skill or whatever it may be, or doing a video or writing on your own website. So those are things you can do. And I know it's hard to get out of a cycle of depression and losing your mind when you're in it. But I would get the book by Shad Helmstetter, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. I would ask yourself, are there things you can do in your life that are interesting? Even if you feel really crappy, it doesn't mean you can't read. It doesn't mean you can't go out and meet people. It doesn't mean you can't go out and go for a nice run or a nice jog. Running really helps me feel a lot better when I'm feeling in the crapper. Go for a good run. Go lift some weights and pump some iron. That helps me as well. Physical exercise and activity. Losing your mind could also mean that you're going through a very stressful time in your life. So this year, 2014, has been the year for me to lose my mind. That's why this subject kind of is very close to me. I feel like I drank from a fire hose this year. It was too much. All the things that have happened this year are too much for me to take. So many times I just break down and cry and let myself cry. And I would encourage this guy who feels like he's losing his mind, if you need to cry, just put your head in your pillow and scream, and do it for as long as you need to. And then do it the next day and do it again and again and again. And it's also a good time when you're losing your mind if you're being stretched by something, because it means you're learning and growing and you're expanding beyond what you currently are. And I think that's a wonderful thing, that we as humans can become more than we are through our experiences and our pain. And so if you're experiencing that in your life, to this guy, I tell you that on the other side of that is some immense growth, some immense, just growth, personal growth, and you'll be a much stronger person. So change your dialogue with yourself, get out and get some exercise, make the most of life. When you look at life kind of like a kid, where you're just curious, you're willing to try new things. Like, I love to just go up to people I don't know and talk to them, because the reason that's exciting is because I don't know what they're going to say. They may say, "You screw off, you weirdo," and even if they do, it's like, well, that was interesting. Someone told me to screw off, weirdo. I've got a story I can tell people now. I say, you know what, one time I went to talk to this person and they said, screw off, weirdo. And so I love accumulating stories by doing things like that, talking to people and gaining experiences like that. And I have a lot of those that I will share as I do these videos. So treat life like you're just a curious kid and you're exploring through it, and you're just gathering feedback and data, and life becomes very interesting when you do that. So these are some of my thoughts for you, that life's not that bad. It can be really tough sometimes. Just cry it out, do what you got to do. Your problems become not really problems. When you do that, it becomes more like a science experiment in life. And then don't get too attached to outcomes as you do this. So losing your mind can be a good thing if you're being stretched. And so this is my bit of advice for you. This is Coach Jeremy Noel Johnson Extraordinaire, sharing a bit of insight, inspiration, love, and learning for you. Get out there and just experience life. Don't spend much time alone if you're feeling this crappy. Get out there and just start interacting with the world and people. Much care to you, and best of luck